Hey guys, this is Alex here. So today I'm going to demonstrate my steering column Podi P2 gauge setup. I've got a boost gauge in it and an oil temperature gauge in it, but the main point of this video is to show how the fuses are hooked up and how I wired the gauges, and that there's no delay with the gauges booting up. I'm just going to show you how the gauges boot up and how they shut down, and that there's no delay really anywhere in the entire sequence. So I'm just going to turn this key into the standard accessory or on position. You can see that works fine. I'm going to shut it off again. So now I'm actually going to turn the car on and show you what happens there. And you can see basically zero delay there. Everything works fine. Something else I wanted to demonstrate is the reaction of the gauges when you've got the ignition in the on position and then you actually turn the car on. They flicker a little bit like a stereo would. It doesn't reset them or anything. I just figured I'd demonstrate that that's what happens. I guess it'll also demonstrate how well the lighting matches the interior color of the car too, because it's pretty spot on. So I'll just turn the car on. So, that worked normally as well, like I demonstrated earlier. I'm going to shut them off again. Again, look at that boost gauge. Now it's shut off. So I'm going to turn them on the on position, boot up like normal, and then watch the flicker when I turn the car on. So, my stereo reset there. These didn't reset, they just flickered a little bit. So I figured I'd explain how I figured out which fuses were which in my car. So for the MkV GTI, there's a lot of fuse boxes. Granted, this Bentley manual is for a Rabbit and a GTI, but as you can see, there's just tons of different layouts. So what I did was I actually looked at my car's manual, which is right here, and compared all these highlighted numbers, like fuse numbers, to the fuse numbers in the Bentley manual. And this is the fuse panel that matched up to my actual car manual. Here you can see this is fuse number 5. I don't know if you can actually see it, but that's fuse number 5, and here's fuse number 26. And in here you can see that fuse number 5 is the clutch position sensor and headlight range control module and power steering control module. My car actually didn't have a fuse in this, so I just added one, but that's my switched 12-volt line for my gauges. And then you can see here that fuse number 26 is a 12-volt socket in the luggage compartment, and that's my constant 12-volt source for this. I should also note that I didn't pick these fuses to use for the gauges based off the Bentley manual. What I did was I took a multimeter and probed a bunch of different fuse locations until I found the ones that would work the best. So my switched 12-volt source, I actually held the multimeter to the fuse and the ground, obviously, to get the voltage, and then switched the car on, and I found one that switched as fast as possible when the car turned on. So that's how I found that one. And the 12-volt one, I just took a guess that since the Bentley manual had that 12-volt socket in the back of the car listed as that fuse, that's what my 12-volt rail would be, and then I probed it and found out that was true. So all this stuff is not just verified by the manual, but it's verified by a multimeter as well. Here are those fuses that I was just showing you in the Bentley manual and the car manual. You can see here, he used that 5th fuse, just used an out of circuit and added a fuse there because it needs 2 fuses to function correctly. And here's that 26th fuse for my constant 12-volt. Had to add a fuse there too, just made it as close to the Bentley manual rating as possible. But these do work really well.